on iHats yet. Okay, we live. Wow. Okay. It's been okay. Yes, 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 yes. Whoo, I had to do that a few times. I got to get used back to this technological stuff here. Just gonna wait a few more minutes. What time is it? We about 3 more minutes. We'll get started. Let me turn my phone on silent. Hey, man, what's going on, you guys? Give me a minute here. Let me just get myself situated. And yeah, I know we're live, 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 but I want to make sure that everyone is here. If nobody's here, I'm just going to continue to lay out the information and you guys will get it when you get it. But right now, I need to turn my phone on silent. How you guys doing? You know, this is EB Crypto, Family Cash Machine, and Eric Brent. And I was talking to you guys earlier about the CEOs, all the different CEOs that I had an opportunity to run into in Las Vegas. And we're going to go into detail as to what happened in those meetings for those 3 or 4 days. It was quite interesting. I think you guys will benefit a lot from what's transpiring right now in this particular ecosystem that I'm um, now a part of. So just give me a minute here. I'm waiting for a few people to come in. So give me a minute here and we'll get started. We got about 2 more minutes, but I just want to turn my phones on silent so I'm not disrupted. Once I get into this, I'm not going to take too much of your time because we already started late. I said from 6:30 to 6, I think 45 minutes, but I'm only going to probably do 30 minutes on this particular video. Let me turn my sounds, put this on mute. All right, I'm all good. I'm all set. Give me a little drink of water here, and we'll get into it. Man, that was hard to get this thing started, but I got it started. It looked easy. Haven't done streams in a while. It looked very easy. I watched a couple of videos on refreshing my brain, but these technologies changed. Zoom has changed a lot. YouTube has changed a lot, and so it's constant changes in the technological world. I'm not a techie guy like that, like as far as being a programmer or nothing like that, but I am a guy who stays abreast and stays aware of information that's going on. And I try my best to be in the front of technology or in the front of different trends and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. Going to start off by talking about why I was invited to Las Vegas and who invited me. And that list is kind of big. It's probably about 5 or 6 different individuals that called a good friend of mine's, Miss Boomy Moore, and she called me, and I met one of the gentlemen's, I think two of them, online before I went to the event. But I've been knowing Boomy for years and years and years. And so when she calls me, it's pretty important. She's a pretty dynamic sister. She does a lot of things. She's been a 5 to 6 digit month earner long as I've known her, over 20 or 30 years with 5 kids. I believe she got 5 kids, all grown now, but all their lives, their mother has been a super mom. So anyway, she called me and invited me to go out to meet some of the CEOs, multimillionaires, so we can find out exactly what it is they're doing right now in this day and age with the economy in the manner that it's in. Now, you guys all know me. I've been doing cryptocurrency for the longest, since 2017. I came into cryptocurrency when Bitcoin was just $200, and Ethereum was about $6 or $7. I made a lot of money in this industry. I lost a lot of money. And I'm one of the guys that's some pioneers, I would say, in our community in this technology called blockchain technology because I've taken a lot of arrows. And that's why I'm a pioneer because I lost a lot to learn a lot. And those are the pioneers in any industry is those that go out in the front, in the head, in the frontier and takes the bumps and bruises and fight the bears and the alligators and whoever the natives or whatever he has to do to, and he takes a lot of losses. So that's pioneers. That's usually how you know the pioneers because they're the ones with the most arrows in their backs. I actually took a loss last week for a couple $100, but I learned something. How about that? But that's what happens when you're learning things. You have to either spend time or money to learn things. But guess what? When I learn something, I make sure other people don't make those same mistakes. So somebody got to pay these sacrifices. I believe I was the first guy out of Compton, California, on the internet. I haven't seen anybody else before me talking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Ethereum, decentralization. Nobody was there before me. And that just means that I saw something and I wanted to include other people in this huge technology now called blockchain technology. So this technology right now, according to there was a meeting in at Davos 2021 economic summit. All the billionaires in the world went to this economic summit. And they said that blockchain technology has the ability to disrupt over $827 trillion worth of businesses. And that's just an estimation. It could be in the quintillions. And that's a number I have never used in my life, actually, quintillion, but it could, the trillions of dollars, $827 trillion of businesses can be disrupted. Now, let me just say this, that going into this meeting, I had no idea really what these gentlemen were going to say. I kind of had a clue of what they represented because, I did meet two of them before I went there. Now, today I'm going to just focus on one specific thing that they're doing, but there's like 12 or different things that's going on right now, all in the blockchain industry. And if you don't know anything about blockchain, it's time for you to learn because this is an industry that BlackRock, one of the biggest asset um, um, hedge fund asset holders in the world, over $10 trillion BlackRock has in assets and hedge funds or whatever, however they have these assets. And that's larger than most countries, with the exception of America. And so you got Vanguard and all these other huge conglomerates now wanting to get into the blockchain industry. Why? And I'm asking, a lot of people, why are we not more interested in it? Because it's the opportunities in this industry is just humongous right now. So people we all know that when you get in something in the beginning, that's the best time to get in something, and just at the beginning of it. And we're still pretty much at the beginning. I know you guys heard of Bitcoin since 2000. What? How long has Bitcoin been going? 2008, I believe, nine. When it's funny how it launched. It launched at the same time that the economy crashed in 2008. And I was a victim of that because being a former real estate appraiser, commercial and residential, I was really caught up in the tornado of that whole tumultuous economic, I call it the global economic meltdown. I was caught up in that. I did quite well when everything was booming, of course, but when that thing started to crash, I went down like the Titanic. And so at the time when this whole economy was going down, Bitcoin was launched. Now, I'm not talking about Bitcoin right now. We beyond that. Bitcoin, although it's the most expensive coin on the blockchain or on the coin market cap or whatever cryptocurrency market you look at or exchange, Bitcoin is the most expensive. And the only reason because it's the first. It doesn't have the most functionality. So this movement that is now starting with these multimillionaires. It started with a company called Gala, I think Gala Games or Gala Games, which they created um, tokens and they created nodes. Now, most people don't know that Bitcoin and Ethereum works on Well, not Bitcoin. Ethereum works on nodes, and most of your cryptocurrencies now work on master nodes. They don't work on mining. The mining equipment that Bitcoin started off on is so expensive to run. It burns up so much electricity. It destroys the atmosphere and the environment. So it's really not financially feasible to have a miner. I mean, you would need to right now to get into that industry, you would need tens of millions of dollars to even make any money in that industry of mining. So most of the coins now are on a staking protocol, which you need a a node to operate. So this particular uh, all of these different coins now are on basically nodes. So these gentlemen here introduced us to several ideas and several projects that they have that are pretty much globally impactive. They can impact the world in a most significant way. Several different products connected. And so this company is called Connect. The company that came together called Connect is about impacting the world. They're about innovative technology. They're about decentralization, which I'm going to go into right now with you guys and explain to you guys the difference between decentralization and centralization. Most of us are so caught up and we've been pretty much raised and tutored into centralized thinking to where it's ingrained in our whole being. So I met a gentleman called named Paul Michael. I'm going to show you guys a picture of him. This is one of the multimillionaires that I met, and I thought that he had one of the most interesting ideas or products in the blockchain space right now. Now, again, Connect is about bringing together all these different decentralized companies and allowing the masses like myself to own a masternode. Back to the Gala games. The Masternode started with the Gala, well, Masternode started with Ethereum, but when Gala games came out, a lot of your games were that what you guys were playing were on Gala games. They distributed master nodes to protect the network. The owners of the master nodes, like you guys, you don't have to do anything. The software does everything for you. You just plug it up and it go. But back then, it was so hard to host a master node. It wasn't as easy as it is today. So a lot of those guys that purchase those nodes, basically all you're doing is allowing your computer, you're lending out your computer power. That's all you're doing. And you're being one of the validating points of that network. Because when you're dealing with decentralized networks, you don't have a server. You don't have any basically point of centralization, which is what we're used to today. Everything now runs on servers. And so this is why I thought that this gentleman's idea was so powerful. Now, I'm going to give you a little history about this gala game. So basically, when it started off, a lot of people came to other individuals and said, "Hey, why don't you buy a master node?" Like, what's a master node? Well, you're basically lending out your computer, and in return, you'll get rewards and tokens. Well, how much are the tokens worth? Well, nothing right now. But as these games become more and more popular and more people use them, those coins could start having value. Now, I do want to have a disclosure right now and just say to you guys that um, I'm not promising you any rewards here. I'm not promising you to be, super rich overnight. The normal disclaimer I'm going to basically say right now that we don't promise you guys anything. Um, this is an investment. This is a business. Win rewards. Standard disclaimer. I'm just saying, anything can go wrong in business. We all know that. I'm not promising you guys to get rich overnight or to the moon, but I am saying this: that there's so many multimillionaires involved in this project that I believe that this is going to have a significant impact on the world, not just this one project, but the entire Connect um, uh, conglomerate, which is multiple different disruptive companies. Now, when I say disruptive, that's not a bad word, because I was talking to my mom today about growing up. My mom told me, don't get in the car with strangers. We always pretty much taught, don't let strangers in our house. This is something we were taught pretty much all our life. So look at about 30 years ago, if I came to you with an idea that I got a business idea and I need you as the bank to fund it. And this idea is to um, invite strangers in your car and allow strangers to use your car. And you would have looked at me and said, that is the dumbest idea I ever thought of. Well, that's what Uber is, and that's what Turo is. Uber basically have individuals, strangers you don't know, you get in their car, they drive you around. Turo, basically strangers borrow your car and rent your car and drive your car, and that's are those are booming industries, but these industries have disrupted certain industries. For instance, Uber disrupted the taxi industry, and Turo disrupted the rent-a-car business tremendously. They took a huge portion of the profit share, if not most of the profit share, but these are disruptive businesses. So when I say disruption, don't be frightened, don't get afraid, don't think that's a bad word, because most of us grew up thinking that that word disruption, is a bad word, because going to school, being a part of the system, you are embedded with this thought frame that you have to fit in, you have to not be a problem, you have to go with the flow, you have to always not be disruptive. Well, guess what? Disruption equals value, because in this day and age that we live in, there's so many systems and so many businesses that are broken. The economy's broken. The dollar's broken. The whole internet really is broken in a sense of this centralized thing that I'm talking about, where you have this huge problem of hacking. And we'll get into that in a minute. But Paul Michael is a gentleman who I had an opportunity to meet, and he's a very successful individual. He had a gold company. His gold company was hugely successful. They sold about $5 million of gold a day. And as he embarked in this business and made, I guess the company made hundreds of millions of dollars, he decided and realized that there was a problem in the delivery of this gold, which was one of the reasons I chose crypto over gold, because I was thinking, well, how would I get my gold delivered? That could be a huge problem. If you have a lot of gold, then you're going to need security and all this stuff. And if you don't have a lot of gold, then how will you actually mail it, or how would you deliver this gold to yourself? And how would you basically move it around? So that was a huge problem for me, and why I chose crypto over gold. But I still think it's smart to diversify and have both. So he saw a problem in that industry and started a delivery service, which became hugely successful. And he disrupted the delivery service tremendously and made a huge, huge, huge amount of money. I don't know if it was hundreds of millions, or I think the company made hundreds of millions of dollars. So he's done it twice. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars twice. This guy's, has been very successful in business. So I think he knows what he's doing. And so I guess one day when he rode in the Uber, and he told me he rode in an Uber, he went somewhere, and he asked the driver how much was he getting paid. The driver said $90. And so Paul said, well, I'm paying $263. So that gave him the idea to create another ride share that was disruptive. But at that time, he didn't really know about the blockchain until someone else introduced him to, hey, why don't you take this business and put it on the blockchain, which fits perfectly in what you're trying to do. So this is very disruptive business, and this could actually catapult into disrupting Uber as well as Lyft. And I'm gonna show you how. Now, we talked about rideshare. We talked about blockchain technology. Some of you guys may not know about blockchain. I don't have time to do too much teaching on that. I'm going to be doing more and more videos. This is just the first introductory video, just to give you guys a peek at some of the stuff that these multimillionaires share with me in Las Vegas, some of the things that they're doing, because I actually met Billy Womack, a gentleman who purchased over 10,000 of software nodes with Gala Gains, and he told me personally, Eric, I made at least $1 million on each $1,000 that I spent, and it took him about 2 years or so. So this is not an get rich overnight type of thing. I'm not guaranteeing you that Revo, which is the particular project that I'm going to produce to you guys right now. There's a couple other projects we'll be talking about on the blockchain, on this disruptive technology that most people are not involved in, don't know about, but it is taking over. It is going to be a part of our everyday life. And I think that the average person has opportunity right now. It's a huge opportunity of a great transference of wealth right now. Because if blockchain is going to disrupt over $827 trillion worth of business, that means it's a lot of funds and money that's going to be transferred over to other people's hands. And it's not all the way in the richest hands or the wealthy hands. It's anybody who position themselves to catch some of this transference of wealth. It's a huge transference of wealth going on. It's been going on. And as I read last week, there is almost 2,700, I think it's 2,700, almost 2,800 billionaires in the world. And a lot of people might say, oh, those 2,800, okay, that's not a lot. And I hear people say all the time that the 1% of the world runs the world. Well, there's a lot of multimillionaires, but when you talk about billionaires, one of the guys that was introducing us to some of these projects is a billionaire or has made several billions of dollars, at least over $10 billion. I know for sure he's actually generated. I had an opportunity to talk to that gentleman. We'll talk about him on another video, and we're going to share more and more with you guys of what's really going on right now, how these guys are making their money, and how you guys can position yourself with your little hundreds and thousands or whatever, and you can make the same, not the same amount they're making, because of course they're investing more, but the same percentage. If they're going to make 100%, 50%, or 10, a 10, a 10 K, or what do you call it, a 10X, you can make a 10X. If they're gonna make 100X, you can make 100X. If they got a billion and they invest and you put 1,000, it's gonna do the same thing. So it's not just for the rich. This opportunity of technology changing things, whoever grasp it and take the time to start getting involved, and you don't have to try to learn all this overnight. Now, some of these terminologies I'm saying may kind of intimidate people. Don't let it intimidate you. Get in and then start learning later. But while you're in and you're around these people and you have your position, you're going to see things growing financially, and you're going to start learning more as you're around the individuals that's involved in it. But you won't learn this all overnight. It's a lot of stuff that you won't learn overnight, but it's fun, it's interesting, it's innovative. It's going to happen whether you own the train or not. This technology is here to stay, and it's going to take over a lot of the banks. It's going to take over a lot of the transactions. It's basically the internet of value. Wow, that's the best way to explain it. What I'm talking about is the internet of value. Think about that. This is the internet of information that you're on now. Now we're heading to Web 3, which is going to decentralize a lot of things. And those that are ahead of the game and start understanding that first are going to be the winners in the end. And this is back to the statistics I'm talking about. 2,800 billionaires in the world. That's not even 34 millionth of 1%. That's not even 34 millionth of 1%. And this is the problem in the world. Right now, that number has increased over 252 billionaires last year, the most being in China, and then America, and then India. Okay. So I think it was like 818 in China, 800 in America, and something like 700 in India, something like that. That was the numbers. And so the rest scattered all over the world. Problem is the multimillionaires over the last 5 years has accelerated. The problem is the poverty levels in the middle class has shrunken. So we have two dynamics happening here in economics. People are getting richer or poorer. And I think that that's more attributed to what you know. It's not all about who you know. It is about who you know, but it's also about what you know. It's about knowledge. It's about information. It's about putting yourself in position to get the information, being around these different individuals who are doing multi million dollar projects, or either are enticing you guys to understand this stuff. So it's all about you guys understanding decentralization, because what decentralization does, it redistributes wealth, and it's not all going to this small group of people where it's who you know. And that's what's been going on in the world for so many years, and now that's about to be disrupted. So let me show you guys an example of what I mean by decentralized and centralized. And then from there, I'm going to go and share with you guys. Let me see. Let me share my screen. From there, I'm going to share with you guys. Um, I'm going to share with you guys from there. Let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to show you what a first, let me show you what a centralized system looks like. Give me 1 minute here. I'll share my screen. Okay, let me see. Let me share my screen. Thanks. I'm a little rusty, you guys. Just give me a little break here. I'm a little rusty. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys so you can see. This is a centralized system. This is what we've been under economically. Well, I'm not gonna just say economically. We've been under this system for thousands and thousands of years. In the center, you have, say, the king. At first, we were under monarchies, and then everybody else is, that power goes from that center on out. And it's that centralized force that controls everything. Then from there, we went to governments. Okay. And these governments or banks even control all the finance. So here's the centralized system. And even when we went to computers, the computer system, the whole internet was supposed to be decentralized. But governments and banks became threatened and they centralized everything. Let me give you an example of what I mean by centralized. Say this is the server. This is your server, and all the other computers connect to that one main server. Give you an example: Bank of America. Oh, let me give you another example: Visa. About 5 years ago, Visa got hacked. That main server, you got hundreds of millions of people, if not billions of people, connected to Visa in some form, shape, or fashion because they got a debit card with a Visa logo. So when Visa got hacked, millions of individuals' information is at jeopardy. This is the problem with centralization. The other problem with centralization is you got this one centralized force or this server, and now they have all your data. So now you don't control your data. They can put your data out on the internet and resell your information, which is what's happening right now. Your information is being resold on the internet. You're not getting a dime from it. This is the problem with centralization. Okay, give you another example. You got Facebook right here. That's the corporation. Facebook's the corporation. All of you guys on there, you help that corporation. Facebook has basically no data. And it's the biggest, largest media source in the world right now from you. You're the one to give the data to Facebook. You share your pictures, you share your newsletters, you share your articles, your videos. It's the hugest media conglomerate in the world, and they have no data. Interesting. Because all of you guys share it on that server. They own your data, though. They can kick you off of Facebook and they still got all your data. See that? That's a centralized system. And guess who got all the money? Mark Zuckerberg. You didn't get it. I didn't get it. But we are the ones that participated in the value making of these entities. That's about to change with decentralization. And this is what people didn't know about Bitcoin. Bitcoin opened the doors for a total different technology, which is decentralization. And one of the problems that Satoshi Nakamoto, the guy that invented Bitcoin, or one of the guys that was part of it who stayed anonymous, was how do we deliver value without a third party? Okay, now back to this system right here. You got a third party. There's no way any one of these people here on the outside could deliver any money or value to anybody in that chain without going through this third party, which is the centralized person, which usually is the bank. And I've had so many transactions that the bank told me, oh, you're sending too much money. Oh, you can't send this much money. It's my money. But they're the centralized power that control everything. That's about to change. And this is not even begun to start yet. I mean, we haven't scratched the surface. So anybody that gets involved in these type of projects are going to be in a great position. I'm not going to promise you this, promise you that, but I'm just saying chances are and the probabilities of you making a lot of money is very, very, very high if you engage in new innovative things like this. Now, this looks kind of crazy. Don't let this scare you. I'm going to explain this to you. This is a decentralized system. There's no center server. There's no corporation that owns it. There's no government that owns it. There's no king. There's no CEO that can run off with everybody's money. This is a more, I would say, democratic financial system. And this is the kind of system I think that the masses should be in, that they control their own data, they control their own finance, they control their own transactions. That's what's going on now. And this is the blockchain technology. This is the best way for me to explain to you what a node is, a software node. Okay. Now you see these little blue dot bubbles? These are software nodes. Now remember, I told you about the problem of solving sending value without having a third party. Well, if we don't have a third party and I just send you some money, I can say, well, I sent you the money, and you can say, well, I don't got it. I didn't get it. So that's the problem with not having a third party. And we have always had to have a third party in sending value, sending anything of value or money. When you transfer your title or your house from person to person, you need an escrow company or an attorney. You need that third party to validate and verify equal parties have distributed and received equal amount of value. Okay. That couldn't be done on the internet. It couldn't be done on the internet until we came up with blockchain technology. Why? Because all these blue dots represents validating forces. All these blue dots could validate transactions. You don't have to do it. Your software does it. You just plug your software in and now you're a node. This is how these guys made all this money. And so now, since they did it with the Gala games, the same developers, the same people have come together with Connect to create more disruptive industries, more disruptive companies where the people make the decisions, not a CEO. Connect doesn't make the decisions with these different products, with these different industries, these different companies that I'm about to introduce to you to one. Revel Rides, which is going to be a ride share. It's going to disrupt, I believe, it's going to disrupt Uber as well as it's going to disrupt Lyft because they're, first of all, they're paying 40% more to their drivers and the riders are going to be getting cheaper fees. Now, what part of that we don't understand? How are they going to do that? Look at this model right here. Just look at it. There is no middleman. Okay, all these little numbers are transactions, transactions. These are people that's transacting freely. There's no regulations. There's no rules. There's no time when you can send. You can do whenever you want. And all these blue dots are the master nodes that validate transactions to make sure this got to this guy and this got to that guy or this guy. So the people are the validating, verifying of the entire blockchain. Anybody can go on the blockchain and validate and verify a transaction. You may not know who is who because we're just digits. See that? We're just numbers. We're digits. You don't have your name, you don't have your social, you don't have none of your data attached to it. It's all decentralized and it's all anonymous. And that's a powerful tool to be, to be able to transact anonymously. That's a powerful thing right there. So anyway, this is decentralization. So let me go ahead and talk about this guy again. Here he is. Here's me with Paul. So I'm so honored and privileged that I had an opportunity to shake his hand, talk to him. He's genuine. He's passionate. He's a born disruptor. He's already disrupted the delivery industry. He came from making a lot of money in gold. This guy's an experienced businessman. He's not just some guy that jumped up and had an idea. This guy has already made millions. This is one of the guys I'm talking about. And he has a company called Revo. Okay. Now I'm gonna stop sharing. We got to talk about this because I'm gonna close out. I'm not gonna talk you to death tonight, but I'm definitely going to let me see if I can close this out. I'm definitely going to show you why this company is going to be powerful and you want to be a part of it right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you want to be a part of this because what he's done is found the way. He's found the way to disrupt the industries of rideshare. And I'm gonna show you how. I understand exactly what he's done. Okay, how do I not get out? I gotta get out of this. Excuse me, give me a minute. I told you I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little rusty here. A little rusty here. I'm trying to get out of this slide right here and just talk to you guys just straight up. Let me see how we're gonna do that. Let me get out of this. Let me close that. So what he's done is cut out the middleman. Uber is basically an app. That's a centralized app. We're talking about centralization. So the reason that there is a like I said, let me close all this out. The reason there is so much money being paid out to Uber because there are guys that own that Uber. There's an app. So that app is centralized. Remember? It's a centralized app. So they don't own it. Okay, how do I do this? Oh, stop share. There it is. It was hiding there. So they don't own the app. So Uber disrupted the taxi cab companies. It disrupted. It's a disruptor. Blockchain is going to disrupt the disruptors. Okay, so with the Gala games, all those different games, there's so many different games on the internet that develop off of Gala games. And as more and more people start using it, the value of the coin start to rise. And I talked to a couple of gentlemen that are still making money from that. They made over $7 to $10 million, and they're still making $70,000 to $90,000 a day because they own master nodes, which are called software nodes. So you become a validator of the system itself. You become basically I don't want to say that word. You become basically a part of the value of the company. Let me give you an example. So here is the data. The data is in the app. The app shares the data with riders who sign up with Uber. Okay, you're an independent contractor. You have to pay Uber out of $260, you get 90. So let's say we don't have Uber, we have a DApp, which is called a decentralized app, which is what pretty much Paul has created with some other bells and whistles that I haven't even got into. So he has with Revel Rides a DApp, a decentralized app. There's no Uber, there's no CEO, Paul's not getting the money. It's a decentralized system. There's no CEO, there's no corporate office. The people are the beneficiaries of the value, not even connect. Whoever owns a node are the ones that's receiving the rewards. Okay. So let's say the driver is not uh he's on a DApp. So he directly connects with a rider, and now we don't have that middleman, that third party. So from there, we say, okay, instead of charging him, I'm the driver, okay? Instead of charging him 260 like Uber did, I'm gonna charge him $200. Now, instead of paying 260, is the rider happy? Of course. Now, instead of making $90, is the driver happy? Of course. So you see how that problem was solved by eliminating that third party and going to a decentralized system. Wow. That's the best example I can give you guys of what's getting ready to happen, not just with the ride share, but with so many other industries. I met at least 6 or 7 different multimillionaires that all have different trends and different industries where they're going to go and disrupt with this technology. And I'm trying to be a part of it. And I'm trying to bring as many people as I can on the ground level to participate in these disruptions. That's going to basically, disruption means, only thing disruption means is there's been a shift of money. And I'm going to give you an example. Remember, we had all of those record stores everywhere. What happened to the record stores? They're gone. But did music leave? No. So there was a disruption. So the only thing that means is money exchanged hands. It went from the record stores to now, you know, what they call streams. But the money didn't go anywhere. It never dissipated. It never evaporated. It just exchanged hands. So this is what's getting ready to happen. And I want to be on that side of the exchange that's receiving and not on that side that's going to be disrupted. So this is what we're talking about. I'm going to go deeper into the Revel rides because they also have an app where you can receive rewards. You don't have to have a node. You don't have to be a driver. You can now get on the app and introduce drivers to Revo. And if they decide to drive for Revo, you get a percentage. Wow. Every time he gets a ride, you get a percentage. The more riders that he brings on, you get a percentage. So this is a huge disruption. And I don't see Uber paying out like that. I don't see Uber paying individuals to bring drivers to Uber. I don't see Uber allowing me to get rewards on every drive that I introduce to them. I don't see Uber giving me back rewards if I use Uber. I don't see that. So these are some of the things that Paul has come up with, Paul Michael, and I'm saying, oh my mind, this is mind-boggling, and I'm going to be pushing for this Revel rides because it's going to all be on crypto. This is going to be the first cryptocurrency acceptance, hugely acceptance of in the rideshare area in space. Nobody's done this. It's going to work because now drivers. When I came home from the airport from Las Vegas, I told the driver about what I'm getting ready to do and what I'm involved in. He couldn't wait to get my information. I just got the app information today. I'm gonna send him a link so when he can now sign up, and then he can start getting other Uber and Lyft drivers signed up right now. And he don't even own a node. If he was to own a node, he would actually get a percentage of what everything that Revo is doing. Because now you're a part of those confirmations. You're confirming different transactions. You're not doing it. Your software is doing it. You don't have to do nothing but just check every day and see how many rewards you got. But what's happening is because you have this software, the system is paying your software to validate and verify these transactions. I mean, this is a game changer, a game changer. And this is why I got into crypto years ago because I understood this level, but I couldn't bring this level to the people right away because it's just a lot to absorb at once. But like I said, don't try to absorb it all at once. Just get in where you fit in, start making you some revenue, start getting some positive feedback and learning this technology and being around the people that are already being very successful in this. And most of the people I met are not technicians, they're not developers, they're not techie people. They just understand trends and they position themselves to where they're going to benefit from these trends. And that's what we're doing right now. That's part of what was told to me at this meeting. I'm going to share more with you. I'm going to go more into detail. I'm going to have more slides, more visuals for you to see exactly what's going to happen with this Revo. I'm definitely a part of it. I got a couple other ones that I'm going to share with you. There's quite a few, and it's growing. And there's more and more blockchain projects coming to the Connect family. And pretty much Connect is going to be where you can go ahead and find so many different blockchain disruptive companies that's going to disrupt so many different industries. I mean, I just see value, 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 value. Remember, I come from a expert of value. I'm a commercial and residential appraiser. So I went to school for value and I understand value. So I'm seeing this disruption is value. It just depends on what side of disruption you are on. If you was an old, record store, you got disrupted. But if you were Netflix, or something, then you made a lot of money. If you were the old video place, you got disrupted. But if you were, Netflix, you made a lot of money. So disruption is value. So now what I'm saying to you guys is we are in a position to make so much value. I'm not gonna say money, value. It's about value. It's not about money. So let's say I'm earning 4 or 5 thousand coins every day by being a node. Those nodes don't have any value yet. It's just coins right now in my wallet. But as this company grows in value, those coins are gonna be valuable. That's exactly what happened with Gala Games. And we missed that. We missed the Google. We missed Facebook. We missed all those opportunities. But again, um, you know, there was just a small people in Facebook made a little money. Just a small group. That's not the case here in decentralized technology because there's no CEO. The value has nowhere to go but to the participants in that blockchain. Wow, I like that kind of system. So we're going to close out. I'm not going to go too far, too long. A lot of value was shared with me, and I'm going to spread it to as many people as I can. Now, if you guys are interested in learning more about these nodes, contact me. I'm gonna put a link under here where you guys can contact me, or just respond to this video. I'll get with you. I'll send you more educational things where you can get involved in this stuff while it's on the ground level. Actually, Revo just launched on the 29th. It just launched on the 29th. It sure did. So you on the ground level. It gets no more ground level than this. And again, like I said, they got several other projects that are launching under the Connect umbrella. And sometime, an individual might find other industries that he might want to be a part of, other projects. It all depends on what your passion is. I like this Revel Rides a lot. I like what Connect is doing. There's going to be more projects I'm going to be probably involving myself in, because not only is this project something that I see a lot of people can make a nice chunk of change, it can make a huge impact in that industry. It can better the industry, make it cheaper for riders, make it cheaper for drivers. I mean, make more money for the drivers, and make it cheaper for the riders. I mean, come on now, you can't ask for more than that. You're being in participating in something that's not only making you money, but making a huge impact in millions of people's lives. So that's what this technology is about. This technology will change the scope and dynamics of business forever. And I'm definitely on this ride, and I wanted to bring more of you guys. We're going to have more training. I'm going to have more videos. I'm going to be doing more, webinars to train those individuals that decide to come in with me, decide they want to be a part of this revolution, they decide they want to be a part of the blockchain technology, because you see what they said at Davos. All the billionaires in the world said this technology has the ability to disrupt 800 and something trillion dollars worth of business. These some of the smartest people in the world, some of the richest people in the world. So hey, I want to be on the side of this technology. They're trying to find out how to get in. But remember, these people represent the centralized world. And this technology just doesn't go well with their system. It's for the people. It benefits the people. It redistributes wealth to the people. I like that. That sounds great to me. So again, with that, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. This is EB Crypto, Eric Brent. Family Cash Machine, follow the money. And that's exactly what we doing. We following the money.